Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode here of Developer Stream with World of Tanks. I am Tankz0rz, and we have Mr. Bam here. How you doing,
Bam is
Bam?
here. If you caught me smirking or smiling, decamp FTW. I think ever since we've joked about it and brought it to attention on some stream weeks back, he keeps bringing it up. The TOG 3, confirmed for Era 3.
Talk 3 for Era 3, and we have what? Dave Landia, is that still a thing? I see that as a question.
Landia's coming up. Hey, actually, yeah, on the community map front, our level designer has set up a ticket. We now have the full roster of community submitted name suggestions. And internally, we're going to be kind of reviewing a lot of them, and we're going to collect them and put it out as a survey for you, the players, can eventually pick what the final community map name will be. There's a lot of really good ones. Yes, Dave Landia's in the list. No, I'm going to tell you right now, that's probably not going to make it into the survey for you guys to pick. But it was a fun inside joke while it lasted. Dave GM, I am sorry.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
We'll give you a personalized survey for you where that will be an option. So at least there can be one vote for it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we're here to talk about tanks, but I believe you're kind of busy today, aren't you, Mr. Bam?
Yes. Okay. Apologies. I had to tell Tankz0rz ahead of the stream that we may have to keep this one rather short this week. Lots of effort and works coming up as we are marching toward our next milestone, lockdown milestone for next season. Nothing to share today on the stream, but we are really kind of need a lot of time to get more attention on the content that we're trying to pursue and complete here. So I asked if we can keep this to about a 30-minute stream this week. We will have time for Q&As. We'll talk about our content this week. We'll talk about the content next week. But yes, we will be covering some of the Q&As submitted from you, the players, from last week as well.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and dive straight in then, shall we, Mr. Bam?
Let's dive right in. Not an appropriate pun for the Flames of War season. Well, on the subject of the Flames, who in the chat, have you guys had a chance to try out the new flamethrower mechanics in-game? Have you driven around in the TVP VTU, the Czech Tier 8 tank, or had a chance to pick up the new Churchill Oki, Tier 5? Those are now rolling around the battlefield, torching tanks and the environment themselves. Hopefully you guys, if you haven't had a chance to try them out, you probably have seen them out there at least. Both these tanks operate very similar in fashion. We do have more tanks coming down a little bit later, but we'll talk about that in another stream. But both of these tanks have hull-mounted flamethrowers attached to them, so they're not on the turret and require a little bit more player skill to kind of swivel and turn your chassis itself to get good aim with that very limited pitch and yaw kind of aim that you get on the flamethrowers themselves. Churchill, especially, maybe going to take a little bit more effort on a player to really master the flamethrower mechanics on that one, as that one doesn't have any yaw aim. Yeah, exactly, Tankz0rz. But we did add some pitch aim, so you can go up and down. Had some good successful matches earlier this week. Tankz0rz, I'm not sure how much you've had a chance to try out, say, the Churchill, but I highly recommend if you are in a situation in which you are, smaller maps are going to be good, right? The Churchill is a slow tank. It's hard to get up to and within a close proximity to your enemy targets. The flamethrowers have very limited range, so it's going to be very situational. We were on Ruinberg. Excellent map. Go for the urban west side, and there was 3 enemy tanks on the other side, including an Oho, and flamethrowers don't have any sort of pen values. You don't have to worry about getting any sort of penetration RNG to know if you're going to actually deal damage or not. Once those flames make contact, you are going to deal a little bit of damage over time for any sort of flame impact to that said tank. I was in a situation where 3 tanks were around the corner. I had some allies. Always keep allies around you. Don't let the players get up on your flank. But I had a moment after the enemies had taken their shot, were in reload. I put myself out into the danger, but was able to just quickly torch all 3 tanks. That is a great advantage of the flamethrower tanks. you can continue to spray the flames, hose not just a single target, but turn yourself and try to get multiple targets all at once. And the longer that you keep that flame on that target, the longer they will still stay ignited, damage over time with that the flames on top of them. We talked about this a little bit last week with the introduction. Oh, go ahead.
That's what I was going to mention. You mentioned it a little bit last week, and you also talked about the external fire feature as well, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm going to touch on. So last week we talked about the difference of the new separation of the internal fires versus the external fires. Internal fires are exactly what you guys already know how fires work in the game. When your engine is heavily damaged and just ignites on fire, very crippling, high damage output over time, and your crew, your modules all get damaged and injured. External fires is what happens when you are hosed by the flamethrowers. This is not as crippling as an internal fire. What it will do is it will damage your optics right away, but it will otherwise do minimal amount of damage over time. And the longer that you receive flames from a flamethrower, the longer the duration of which you continue to receive kind of damage over time. There is a chance, though, that I don't know the percent chance on the top of my head, but internal fires can, in fact, start from an external fire. The longer that you are exposed to an external fire, the chances that you might receive an internal fire are very probable. What else? We talked about the range a little bit. Yes, flamethrowers, they do not have long range, somewhere between 100 to maybe even 200, depending on the tanks. Again, we have more tanks coming down the line. This is the Flames of War season. Again, more details on that later. So you do have to get very close into your targets to be able to ignite their tanks with the flamethrowers themselves. A lot of effort went into the impact effects of the flames, because not only did we want the effects of the flames themselves to ignite and sit on the tanks, but also allowing players to kind of torch the battlefield in a way that would leave the flames burning and some smoke on the battlefield itself. Just know there is no real gameplay impact to the flames ignited on the battlefield, though it is something that we are thinking about maybe in the future of allowing flamethrower tanks to have some sort of denial of routes in a flank or something. Might be some interesting gameplay impact. That's just designer hat going on, thinking about how we can better involve more mechanics in the future. But right now, you can torch the battlefield. It's purely aesthetic. Might serve as a little bit of a visual distraction, but trust me, you can still drive through the flames if they are on the ground. That will not ignite your tank by any means.
Okay, good to know. Pro tips here on our weekly stream. I like it.
Pro tips. What else? Yeah, okay, one other pro tip. Typically, the way I like to play the flamethrower tanks, a lot of the game you like to do is more peek and shoot. You got your opportunity to fire a single shell usually and back into cover, right? Same mechanic can very much apply to the flamethrowers. Peek out, torch a target as long as they're maybe not looking at you, or if you find the risk worth the reward. Torch a target for a second or so, and then back up, let that damage over time kind of accrue. And then when you have another opportunity, pull back into the front, torch them some more, keep that damage going over time. Flamethrower tanks are equipped with clips, so they will not be allowed to continuously flame you for the full duration capacity that are allotted to their tanks. So just note that.
We don't want to melt our barrels here, right, man?
Oh, I'm going to note that. Maybe that's a mechanic, an overheat mechanic, right?
I mean, it's in your picture in your background right there. You're staring right at a molten barrel. I like it.
It's okay, right?
Yeah.
It's heating up over there.
Oh,
yeah, JG, I don't want to say Bam's positioning, patent barrel, makes it look like he's going to use the Usain Bolt pose. Funny. Let's see. The last thing I'll say on the flamethrower tanks, warning to those of you that like some of those open-topped SPGs or tank destroyers. Be warned, open-topped vehicles, let's be honest, these are very exposed tanks. Crew, in the imagination of the gameplay, are exposed to the elements. And if a flamethrower makes contact with a open-topped tank, you will receive more crippling, high damage, and of course, crew injury and module break chances.
Sounds good. Appreciate the tips, Mr. Bam.
Absolutely.
I see a couple people here asking if we have any giveaways today.
Tankz0rz, you and I are aligned today because that was going to be my next thing to ask you. Let's kick off our first giveaway on the subject of flamethrower tanks and the Churchill Okie. Let's make this giveaway run through the duration of the stream. We'll announce our winners probably toward the end after the Q&As. 2 Churchill Okies. One Churchill Okie per 2 users.
Not 2 per person. All right, got it.
Not 2 per person.
All right, we're giving 2 Churchill Okies away. I just dropped the link in chat. Go ahead and click on that. Enter your Wargaming ID, and you'll be eligible for our giveaways today. So, all right, we'll let that run for a little bit here.
Max Miner Tanker, Burn Artie. Yes, flamethrower tanks will have a bit of an advantage over Artie. The trick is getting up close to set Artie.
That's where you get your friends to help you, right? They give you a little push.
Exactly. Okay. So this week we're on our week 3 of our Wargaming 25th anniversary, and we have sales ongoing in the store. If you haven't already checked it out, the Lorraine AMX M4, as well as the very popular Tehran, are all available in the store in select bundles. Plus more tanks for free XP. This is going to rotate over time, so be sure to keep up what sort of free XP and what tanks become available for free XP throughout the week. And then we also, as part of the anniversary sales, have free XP conversions going on, netting you a little bit extra free XP per gold spent. And of course, we unveiled last week our return with a collaboration with the big metal band Sabaton as part of our Metal Fest Act 1. Here we have them on screen. Last week, we also showcased their YouTube music video for Steel Commanders, which was just amazing and actually very appropriate for the Flames of War season. They actually had a Churchill torching tanks in the very video itself. So that was kind of a coincidence on that front. But in any case, the purpose of showcasing that video, the Spirit of War Stirv K finally coming to World of Tanks Modern Armor. We know this was something fans have asked for, and it's been on the World of Tanks PC for a while. And yes, has finally debuted this past Tuesday into World of Tanks Modern Armor. Special VFX was applied and added to the armor as well as the exhaust of the Spirit of War to give it a more unique look that can be seen and active in the garage itself, not just in the battle. And as a matter of fact, if you view your tank, the Spirit of War, in the garage itself, you will be able to listen to the Steel Commander's music as you view it within the normal garage. That does not carry into the battle, but it is very exciting just to, if you're a metal fan, this is a nice treat, and shout out to you guys.
That's a pretty neat idea you got there. Just blasting music into the battle.
I think I'm trying to recall conversations we had of why we would or would not do that. A lot of that has to do our audio director. I'm having conversations with him to hopefully bring him onto a stream in the next couple weeks. He can provide a lot more insight and ideas on these sort of things. If I had to give a brief answer on that, of why we can't have the music itself into the battle, one, we'd have to keep it exclusive to you as the user. Let's not blare it to all the other players out there. Although there might be an interesting mechanic that you can hear a tank rolling around blasting their speakers.
Right.
But if I had to guess, it's a memory limit on having so many audio triggers in a battle itself. But I will let our audio director speak for himself. He can probably give more insight on that in a couple weeks.
It'll definitely be awesome hearing from him. If you could join us on stream, that is.
For sure.
Awesome. Look forward to that.
He is interested. But I think September 1st is what we're currently targeting for having him on board.
That is right around the corner. Was that 2 weeks?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Oh. Really quick, Tankz0rz, before I continue. I saw one, I don't know if this is true or not. I saw someone say something about the link is for an old giveaway, for our current giveaway link. I don't know if that's true. Someone else is also saying
take a look here. I literally just made it, so we'll figure it out. I'll update you here shortly.
Okay. Cut me off. Let me know. if we need to let the players know that it's ready. The link would be good to go. We won't announce winners till the end, so we'll kind of work out the kinks of the giveaway link. You'll still have your opportunity to jump in. Also, on the Spirit of War, just some stat tidbits. The thick frontal turret armor allows it to hold up very well against incoming rounds and excels very well in hold down like positions, and generally good mobility and solid firepower. Maybe next week we'll also cover a little bit of the current stats of the Spirit of War for those that might be curious on how it's performing. And also taking part with our Metal Fest event, you can also earn yourself one of our first Sabaton tank included into the game, the Primo Victoria. This has been something fans have also been asking if it was ever going to come back. As always, I say this a lot with any licensed content. We can never promise or state exactly when that comes along until we have said conversations with the IP holders. So yes, in store for the Sabaton, you'll find also our old and new commanders for the Sabaton band members themselves. And they do, I think it's just the new commanders include unique VO from the bandmates themselves.
I just checked the link. It looks like it's working, and I see a bunch of entries. So
okay, giveaway link is good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it looks like it has been pinned by Jessicone. Thank you, Jessicone. Fantastic. I saw a few people mention it. Metal Fest. Yes, Sabaton is part of our Act 1 of our big Metal Fest event ongoing. You probably saw the trailer earlier this week. Yes, we have a big collaboration along with our colleagues in Wargaming with World of Warships and World of Tanks Blitz. Megadeth is coming to World of Tanks Modern Armor. You probably saw that Vic Rattlehead himself is going to become a 3D commander coming to our game, as well as maybe that tank sitting a little bit behind me also coming into the game. No news to share just yet. This content is not releasing next Tuesday. We will talk a little bit more on the content news and all the specifics of Megadeth's incorporation to our game on next week's stream.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah, are you a Megadeth fan?
Oh yeah, I've seen them probably 13, 14 times. That's actually the band I've seen the most, so that's pretty awesome.
Oh, is it really? That's fantastic. Yeah, hopefully there's a lot of other Megadeth fans. If I harken back to Tank Fest, it was kind of great. We've been working on this licensing and collab with them for quite a while internally, and it was great to see some players walking around with Megadeth t-shirts, etc. on there. I'm like, oh, okay, you guys might be in for a good surprise later this summer.
Just wait a couple of weeks. We'll have a surprise for you, and then here we are. So it's awesome.
Okay, we're actually doing okay on time here. I may have to pick up the pace a little bit. Let's talk about control mode. We did wrap up 2 weekends in a row of beta testing on control mode. Hopefully you guys had a chance to check that one out. This is, of course, part of our Event Battles initiative. Control mode has you guys playing a brand new game mode that's not like standard battle, team destruction. It's more about earning points for your team by destroying enemy tanks or capturing and holding the bases. And first team to get 1,000 points wins. 2 weekends ago, we ran control mode beta for World War II Tier 8s. Tankz0rz, can we go ahead and share just a little bit of data and findings with the screenshot we sent earlier?
Absolutely. Let me swap on over for that. There we go.
Here we go. So this is the map data of control mode, specifically all Tier 8s that participated in the weekends. The bottom line of data that you see here is our, I realized I called it 8.2. I should have specified that's the season. That's the previous season data. And you can compare it to the top set of bar graphs here. That is the current season, Flames of War. Interestingly enough, we finally hit our first set of draws on Himmelsdorf and Airfield, which was interesting and a very rare occurrence that two teams can have the points land on the exact same point at the end. But in any case, in the Flames of War season, we introduced a change to the duration of the matches by reducing the amount of points earned when you destroy a tank. This was very much a community requested part of the feature, that they would love if these matches can be a little bit longer. So we tried to see if this would help better achieve the goal there. Initially, our goal for the control mode was to aim somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes. And if you look where it says 8.2, the pink bars on the far right, average match time in minutes, we did hit that goal in our last season. But to better go based on what players were hoping for a higher match time, our new goal was to be between 7 and 8 minutes. And you can see on the top graph, also on the pink bars on the far right, average match time, we are between 8 to 9 minutes. So we have achieved the goal of extending the match duration. We do need to take a look and see just, what has this meant for, say, like queue times, was there long wait times, etc. And as you can see, because of the extension of the match duration, this obviously has also increased the average number of tank destroys, average number of damage given, and just a fun little tidbit there as well as average distance traveled in meters, which on average seems to jump about 5,000 meters more than what we ran previous season. And then we have one more bar graph, same set of data, but for our Cold War control mode beta that just ended last weekend. Very much the same set of conditions here. We just wanted to increase the duration of the matches themselves. We have hit that sweet spot of 7 to 8 minutes. And you can also see that has increased the average number of kills, average damage, and the distance traveled as well. And that's my quick summary on where we are at on the control mode. We will have one more control mode beta going live early September. Dates will be announced probably in the next stream or two. But that one will be a focus of Era 1 in Cold War. So more details on that soon.
Let's see here. What about next week, Mr. Bam? What's going on next week?
So next week, we have our Dream Machine Style Challenge. The Battle of Stalingrad. This is based around the Soviet defense of Stalingrad from German attacks. Earn points by being within the top 10 XP earners of your team, and you get to trade those points for different drop options, including tank rewards. One option for 600 points can net you the Loza M4A2 Sherman. For just 77 points, I wonder if that might be a typo here. 700 points, I think, is what it's supposed to be. I was going to say 77 might be a bit low. 700 points should get you the Sturm VK3601. If you decide to save up 900 points, you can earn yourself the Stockade Object 703 Auto, or wait it out, earn the full amount of 1,000 points, and you guys can get yourself the King Tiger. And as usual, if you already own the tanks, you will be rewarded the silver equivalent instead. And we are also marching on to our week 4 for our 25th anniversary set of sales. The Cobra and Object 279 is coming back into the store. Tanks for free XP will be refreshed as well. New sets of tanks that you can pick from and exchange for free XP. And more free XP conversions are still ongoing. And that's what we have coming for next week. Tankz0rz, I think we're on to our battle feats and shoutouts column now, are we?
I think it's shoutouts time. Let's take a look. What do we got?
Okay, I'm going to go through these really quick and probably butcher names because that is what we do. And all of our users that we call out, as per usual, will be receiving confidential key cards that will be automatically added to your accounts. Starting off in the Jaguar 1, the Era 3 ATGM only tank, Rue Shooter 22 with 8 maximum number of kills in a single battle. We have Unsocial Note 610 dealing 21,929 max damage in a single battle. And Ab Desamed 1243 max combined assist in a single battle, 16,475. Congrats to you three. Then we have a medal showcase also earned while playing the Jaguar 1. We have Key Marker, who earned 26 high caliber medals. Gendu Lover earning 12 sniper medals, and Daring Papa 66 ATGM expert medals. And that's one of our newer medals added to the game specific for Cold War. just requiring users to destroy a minimum of 3 enemy tanks in a single battle with missiles. And Daring Papa got that 66 times. And then lastly, our milestone, our users who crested that huge number of battles in our game. At the 100,000th battle mark, we have Esco73 and Detroit Zombie 2. At the 110,000 mark, East Van. At 130K, we have X2K713V6X. Congrats to you. And at the astounding 170,000 battles, Underlaid Cape 98. Thank you so much, you guys, for your dedication and sticking around. And what is it we say, Tankz0rz?
We say, sorry, my camera was frozen. We say, that's a lot of battles. So congratulations to all of you. You'll be automatically awarded some confidential key cards, as Bam announced here. But yeah, that is a lot of battles and some impressive feats. So congratulations to all of you. And we look forward to who gets on the list next week.
I thought I lost you there for a second, Tankz0rz. I'm like, oh no.
No, we're still here. All right.
Okay, I got about 10 more minutes I can do. Let's chew through some Q&As and then announce our Churchill Oki winners.
Sounds good. All right, let's check this out. Let's see. Well, what if players send videos to Wargaming of funny kills and moments in games and announce which players got the clip of the week and they get a key card?
So this one, actually I wanted to bring this. This is a great question for you, Tankz0rz, because I think this would be a great and fun thing to add on to our streams. Players submit their awesome replays that, you know, internally we vet and review and say, that was excellent. Let's share that with our viewers and give this player a reward for doing so. So maybe a conversation you and I and publishing can have.
Yeah, we'll talk it over, see what we can do, but it sounds pretty neat.
Yeah.
Next question here. What is the next map coming back? If it's not Live Oaks, when will Live Oaks be back?
I don't know if this is the same user, but that exact question I saw go by in the chat earlier today. Oh, they're Max Miner Tanker. What is the next map? Any hints? So no, the next map is not Live Oaks, but happy to say that yes, Live Oaks is being worked on by the art team. In fact, we even moved it up into the schedule because we know that one comes up by players fairly often, quite honestly. This week, I won't say any real concrete hints on what the actual next map will be for next season, but I will say it is a map that players have been requesting, and I have seen it come up in the chat a few times as well.
Is it Live Oaks?
It's not Live Oaks.
All right, just making sure. Can we get more gun sounds for smaller 25/30 millimeter guns? The 25 millimeter on the Bradley has a distinctive sound in real life.
So I brought this question to attention to our audio director. Again, he'll probably be joining us in a couple weeks. If you guys have audio questions, be ready to prep those. We'll kind of collect them and give them all the heated audio-related questions. So he told me this is very much on his mind, rethinking of audio for the gun sounds, the engines, etc., explosions even perhaps. It's all going to be based on, you know, if his time allows for him to do it outside of other priorities of other things. But historically, this is verbatim quote from our audio director himself. Historically, we have been limited in how much variety of audio can be added because of memory and storage constraints, mostly due to a lot of our older hardware consoles. But now that much of the player base is beginning and migrating over to the newer platforms, we are looking into expanding and improving the variety of audio that we have in the game. So future updates and improved engine and gun audio, yes, will be coming. TBD on what those dates are.
Awesome. Let's see, next question here. Can you please fix the garage when I click on a tank, it exits and teleports me to a different tank?
Yes, this was an unfortunate bug that got into the game at the launch of the season. And yes, we did apply a fix that should have gone through just this past Tuesday.
Excellent. Next question here. Since you've updated hit points on a lot of tanks, can we get an increase in ammo for tanks that don't have a lot? For example, tanks such as the Archer SU-85 and the Stug 3G.
shout out to our lead vehicle designer who tackled this one. This is definitely something that we'll investigate. It won't be a quick turnaround because there is, as you guys know, at the start of the season, a large quantity of tanks all received lots of stat changes. So they will review and they can improve the tanks that need it.
Next question. Will we get more tanks with equipped flamethrowers? For example, the Sherman or Patton tanks?
I did hint this a little bit, and there might be a new tank sitting behind me right now. Yes, more are on the way, coming to you soon.
Could there be more applications for the flamethrower mechanic?
Possibly. I actually talked a little bit about this when we were talking about the flamethrowers at the start of the stream. We first wanted this is a brand new feature added to the game, and we wanted to make sure we didn't shake the meta of the gameplay too much, but enough that introduced something fun into the game itself. We do have other ideas and things that we'd like to try into the future, but for now, let's just kind of let what is out there kind of build over time, see what the community and player base think on it before we really start thinking about how to implement new mechanics to it.
Thinking outside the tank. I like it.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot to mention this when I was talking about the flamethrowers. The fire extinguisher as a consumable did receive a new update for its usage with the flamethrower mechanics in mind. Instead of just using it as a single quick use to knock out any sort of internal fires, you now get a 10-second grace period in which you cannot receive any internal or external fires during that whole period of time. So slowly we're thinking about how the flamethrowers may impact other facets of the game and what makes sense to apply extra mechanics onto those.
Awesome. Next question here. Do we have any updates on the double-barreled tanks? I'm assuming he's talking about the bifurcated guns.
Bifurcated guns, yes. This one comes up quite a bit. The investigation and documentation work is done, and actual work is beginning on them.
Okay. Sounds good. Next question. Is it possible that we can see any PC maps coming to Xbox, perhaps? I would personally love to see Studzanki making its arrival in WoT. I believe that. I like the song from that map. I'm just going to throw that out there. But
you like the song from the map? I don't know if I heard it. The TLDR is yes, PC maps will be making their way over slowly but surely. You won't see any more PC maps this year. Nabelberg was our first one that we migrated over, but do expect more PC maps next year.
Let's see. Next question. When I destroy an engine, is it normal to have no help or damage? No help or damage.
Let's see. I'm reading, our technical designer took a look at this one. So right now, damage in an engine just doesn't result in any sort of assist damage. This is just the way it's always worked into the game, and we don't actually have support for that.
All right, let's see. One more question here. Is it possible to solve the problem of bots shooting at us without them having us be spotted?
Yes, this was a big one. Our AI engineer has been vigorously looking at this one. Expect a fix to this next season.
Alrighty. Should we go ahead and announce some winners here, Mr. Bam?
We got a couple more. How about 2 more questions?
2 more questions? All right, let's go.
Let's maybe not. This one's a big one. We'll save that one for next week.
All right. 2 more questions. Can we please put down the damage modifiers in co-op mode and instead bring up the RNG modifiers in regular multiplayer mode?
So yeah, they're asking if they can change the reduction of damage dealt against like the bots in co-op mode. We'll investigate it. We are making some improvements to how the co-op mode itself works. It was very much aimed toward new players, but we know there's still very much a subset of current core players that enjoy the mode. So we'll take a look at that.
Good to hear. And next question here. Pre-update of 5.0 and before crossplay, there was a nice feature in the PBRS scoreboard tab That was just the post-battle results screen, where you could choose any player, press and hold X on Xbox, and it will automatically open a web server via the console, and it would show you the stats of that player. What happened to that? It would be really nice to have that feature back.
We will look into it. I wasn't included on the conversations or am aware of what happened, why the feature was ultimately, removed from the game. I'll start some conversations. What I will say though, the second I start seeing or people complaining about stat shaming, we pull that feature back out. I know that's interesting, and sometimes players want to know about other individuals and their stats, etc. But I feel like this as a feature might be used more negatively with the community than it is a positive thing. Just giving you guys my impression on it personally.
Alrighty. It's time for our winners.
I think so. Yeah. Apologies again, and for those of viewers that are tuning in, we are calling it a little bit early today. I need to get back on some high priority tickets as we're kind of marching toward like a lockdown date for our next milestone.
All right. So our winners here for our Oki giveaway is Carnave.
Carnave. That's a familiar
winner.
one. I've seen him in the chat before.
And our second winner is Tankz0rz.
Tankz0rz.
So I'll go ahead and enter your names in chat. Congratulations to both of you. You are our winners for today.
You guys will be receiving yourselves the newly released flamethrower, our first flamethrower tank added to the game, the Churchill Oki.
You are our lucky winners today, and you will automatically get your tanks by next week. So look out for that. And that about wraps it up for us today this week. Thank you very much for everyone hanging out with us. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. If you're watching on Twitch, go ahead and stick around. We'll go raid one of our community contributors. For everyone else, have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
Thank you, everybody.
Or out.